Adding and subtracting mixed numbers with adamonlinetutoring. Here are the beginner questions, some of the easiest questions that you're likely to find on this topic. To add or subtract mixed numbers, we first change them into improper fractions with a common denominator. So changing this mixed number into an improper fraction, 2 multiplied by 8 is 16, and add the 3 is 19 over 8, and then adding 7 over 8. Since these fractions already have a common denominator, I can add the numerators to give me 26 over our common denominator, which is 8. We do need to write in its simplest form, and we can start by dividing the numerator and the denominator by our highest common factor of 2, which gives us 13 over 4. It's also more simplified to write your answer as a mixed number rather than an improper fraction, and 4's go into 13 3 times with a remainder of 1, so the answer would be 3 and 1 over 4. On to the next question, and first writing these as improper fractions. 4 times 12 is 48, and add the 5 gives 53 over 12. 2 times 6 is 12, and add the 5 is 17 over 6. With this question, we can see we do not have a common denominator, but I can find the lowest common multiple, which is 12, and change both fractions so that they have a common denominator of 12. The first fraction is already over 12, so we can keep this the same, 53 over 12. The second fraction has a denominator of 6. We can change this into 12 by multiplying by 2. We'll need to do the same to the numerator to keep this as an equivalent fraction, so taking away 34 over 12. Now that we have a common denominator, we can subtract the numerator 34 from 53, leaving us with 19 over 12. Simplifying this, will be leaving it as a mixed number. 12's go into 19 once with a remainder of 7, so the answer would be 1 and 7 over 12. On to the advanced questions. On to the intermediate questions with a slight increase in difficulty. 2 multiplied by 8 is 16, plus 5 is 21 over 8, and we're adding 2/3. We need to find a common denominator, and the lowest common multiple of these two denominators is 24. This will involve multiplying both denominators. To get 8 to 24, I will need to multiply by 3, meaning I need to multiply the numerator by 3 also, which is 63 over 24. And for the second fraction, I will need to multiply 3 by 8 to give me 24. So multiplying the 2 by 8 as well is 16 over 24. Adding these fractions together is 79 over 24, and I can simplify by writing this as a mixed number. So 24 goes into 79 a total of 3 times, leaving a remainder of 7. So 3 and 7 over 24. For the second question, 2 multiplied by 4 plus 1 is 9, and then over 4. And we're subtracting 1 multiplied by 7. Add 6 is 13 over 7. We have a lowest common multiple of 28. That will involve multiplying the denominator and the numerator of the first fraction by 7. And 9 times 7 is 63, and involve multiplying the denominator and the numerator of the second fraction by 4. 13 times 4 is 52, and subtracting these gives me my final answer of 11 over 28, since this cannot be simplified any further. On to the advanced question. One of the trickiest types of questions that you're likely to find on this topic. A plank of wood is 20 inches long. 3 pieces of lengths shown are cut from the plank. What length of wood is left over? So firstly, we'll start by adding together all of the parts that have been cut from the plank to work out the total. This will involve adding these together, so we'll need to convert these into improper fractions first. 7 times 4 add 3 is 31, and then over 4. 5 multiplied by 16 plus 5 is 85, and lastly 2 multiplied by 8 plus the 1 is 17. Now we need to find a common denominator for our 3 different denominators, and the lowest common denominator in this instance would be 16. To change our denominator of 4 into 16, we will need to multiply by 4. This will involve multiplying the numerator by 4 to keep it as an equivalent fraction. 31 times 4 is 124. The second fraction is already over 16, so I can just keep this as 85 over 16. And the last fraction, I'll need to multiply 8 by 2 to change the denominator to 16, and 17 multiplied by 2 is 34. Adding these fractions together leaves me with 243 over 16. And now I need to subtract this from the total amount to see what length of wood is left over. As previously mentioned, you'll find it easier to add and subtract fractions with common denominators. That includes when written as whole numbers too. So 20 as a fraction can be written as 20 over 1. This can be changed to a fraction over 16 by multiplying the denominator and the numerator by 16. 20 times 16 is 320. So taking 243 over 16 away from 320 over 16 is 77 over 16. And we can simplify this by writing it as a mixed number. 16s go into 77 4 times with a remainder of 13, leaving us with 4 and 13 over 16 inches. Here's a question that I've completed for you. It appears as though I've made some mistakes. See if you can pause the video and tell me what they are, or write some corrections in the comments below. Thanks for watching. If you found that video useful, don't forget to hit the like button and leave a comment. If you're struggling with topics or finding maths difficult, subscribe and turn on notifications to receive regular updates about new video tutorials and other useful content. You can visit and follow all of my socials by clicking the links in the description below.